This is a brief tutorial on the DC Lightboard. This is the 144 millimeter version. It just runs on DC, no DCC. I just have it connected to a simple transformer here. I've already set it. We're going to go through all of the paces, but as you add power, the lights will come on at about 4 volts. And from 4 to 5 volts or so, as the engine starts to move, the lights will come up, and then as fast as the train is going after that, the lights will stay at a constant brightness, and that's what you want. Now you can set that brightness, so it's actually pretty easy. We'll just leave it where it is. There's a little button here, and everything about setting this board is through the button. So the first thing we want to do is adjust the brightness. Now when you first power up the board, the direction of the brightness is going to be up when you push the button. And all you have to do is press and hold the button, and you can see that the lights are getting brighter. And I release it, and that value is saved. So no matter what we do with the lights, bring all the power down, train stops, and then we bring the lights back on, it's going to be that constant brightness. It's probably too bright, so what we're going to do on subsequent well, I turned the power off, so on subsequent pushes, just holding that, you can see that the lights are going down. Now I'm not going to turn it off this time, because once I press the button again, the lights will go up, and I press the button again, and the lights will go down. So very simple. Now there's a red LED on the back here, and there are pads where you can connect your own LEDs. If you're going to do that, then you want to disconnect this little solder blob here, and I'll bring it up to the camera. It's right here at the end, and the way you remove the solder, it's just a little bit of solder on 2 pads that connects them, and you take a needle nose soldering iron, clean it off, and just touch it to that, and what will happen is the solder will jump onto the soldering iron, wipe it off on a wet rag or sponge, touch this again, and you do that a couple of times, most of the solder will just come off and the connection will be broken, and now you can connect your own LEDs. It's not the way the math works on the LEDs. You can't have your LEDs and this light on at the same time. You could have one scenario, but for the most part you'll want to disconnect it anyway, because you don't want the light blinking inside the car while you have the LEDs on the back of the car, and we'll show you that when we do an installation. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to adjust. First we want to turn on that rear light. So 3 pushes turns the light on. 1, 2, 3, and there it is. And we get some feedback back here. Now it's also in flashing mode. Flashing mode is 4 pushes, and if I want to turn it off, I just press it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will stay on, and I get flashing on the blue indicator light over here to tell me that that's all worked. So turning the red light on and turning it on and off for flashing mode is a toggle. So 3 pushes turns it on, 3 pushes turns it off, 4 pushes makes the flasher go, 4 pushes makes the flasher stop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we'll get the flasher back. Okay, and it blinks about once every, it's a cycle, is a 1 second cycle. All right, so let's put it on, take it out of blinking mode, because we want to adjust the brightness of the rear light. It looks a little bright to me. Now it's a little bit different. It's almost the same as adjusting the main lights, but if we push 1, we'll get the main lights. What you do is you're going to push the button twice and wait for the blue light here to blink twice, and then press the button as we were doing with the main light. So 1, 2, the blue light blinked, and so now I'm going to press it. Now it's going in the up direction. All right, so I want it to reduce the amount of light, so I do the same sequence again. 1, 2, wait for this to blink, and then press it, and it will go down. You have about 2 seconds after the blue light blinks. You can see it all the way down there. It's pretty dim right now. You have 2 seconds after the blue light blinks to move back over and press the button. 1, 2, and then let's adjust it up a little bit. Probably about there. All right, so There's a couple of other adjustments. We saw when we were doing push buttons that the blue light blinks. So when you're using the button to configure, the blue light will always blink. But there is a mode when you may get the board and the light is on all the time. And you can do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 pushes turns the blue light on. Now the reason you would want to do that is when you're configuring the wheel pickups, whether you're connecting to a Kato which already has the wheel pickups but just making sure the wire is right, or if you're using the floating brass strips, knowing that you've got power to the board and the lights, maybe the lights aren't on for some reason, but this blue light will let you know that there's power to the board and the microprocessor is operating. All right, you do your configurations and all of that. And by the way, watch what happens when we want to adjust the brightness of the red LED. I'm going to press this twice, and this will blink off twice, and then we can adjust it down or up as we want. So 1, 2, blinks off. We can adjust it up a little bit. All right, so now we've finished configuring. We're going to turn the blue light off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the blue light will go off. And now we're ready to play with our system and adjust the lights. Okay, and let's turn the flasher back on. Let's say that this is the last car in a long train and we have 2 lights on the back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now we have the flashing light and all of that will be connected up with the power. Now the last thing to point out here is we have 4 super caps on this board. So that really helps with wheels going over dirty track and so forth. The board is very reliable and the flicker control with the super caps is just great. So there it is. It's really simple. No DCC anywhere to be seen in this thing. Just hook this up to the 2 rails. You don't have to worry about polarity because this already takes that into account. And so this is the new Model Train Technology DC board. There are 2 sizes. There's this 144 millimeters, and there's a one that's 124 millimeters, a little bit shorter, that we use in baggage cars and other circumstances. So between those 2 cars, what we found in all the N scale that we've done, hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of cars, these are the 2 optimum sizes. The board is 11.5 millimeters wide, and it's about a little over 2 millimeters thick. The board's 1 millimeter, and most of the components are about 1 millimeter, maybe a little bit more. So really easy. We're going to show you an implementation or installation of the light board in the Milwaukee Road Hiawatha car set the customer sent us. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, that's the introduction to the DC Lightboard from Model Train Technology.